taking a shirtless walk with my dog, Aura Boy. I think it's super important to get some sun. I don't understand why I live in South India and Tamil Nadu, where it's like there's an established cultural precedent for people to at least men. I'm not saying that's ideal, that only men get to have this, because both men and women need sun exposure, but at least there's an established cultural precedent for men to be shirtless even in public. It's acceptable, and I don't see this exercised. And it's an aesthetic thing as well. This is the quintessential South Indian aesthetic, wearing a veshti and being shirtless. I quite like the aesthetic of it as well. I guess I wanted this to be a video about sun exposure, about normalizing shirtlessness again, because we're seeing a lot of vitamin D deficiency. There's a chronic epidemic of lack of sunlight exposure, resulting in various kinds of illnesses. Not just physical, also psychological. Depression, mental health disorders. We are creatures of the sun. We need sun exposure. Aura Boy gets this. My dog gets this. And he's been indoors for a while. He goes and soaks in the sun for a while, you know? We've become so mentalized, we're cut off from this very primal need. It's a very fundamental, basic, non-negotiable, foundational need. For health, for life, all life on this planet is solar powered. Well, I don't want to hear any pedants come out and say, but there are like these, bacteria in the Pacific Ocean. And we're not talking about that, sure, but most life on this planet is solar powered. I'm sure even those bacteria need to feed on things that require the sun indirectly to live, so, What's interesting for me is how we associate shirtlessness with a more rustic way of living, but to me now we've come full circle. Tech and this post-coronavirus work from home culture, most people work from their laptops. They don't need to go to an office. Most people are working from home. Why are we not getting 20-30 minutes of sunlight on our bodies? The wealth we have, the tech we have actually allows this. And this is a nice segue into a larger point that I always think about, which is people blame tech, people blame these so-called trappings of modern society for all the ills that ail us, right? For all the lack of rootedness and lack of ecological orientation. But I actually see tech as a great enabler. Like my MacBook Air and my iPhone right now allows me to work while also enjoy this simple pleasure of taking a walk with my dog, getting some sun on my body. Actually, today's been a very shirtless day for me. Like, I don't think I've put on a shirt the whole day. And it's not like I've been working on a farm today, much like most other work days. I've been working my marketing job, creating videos, creating content, ideating, strategizing. It's a day with a lot of screen time. But I've spent most of this day standing up. I've spent most of this day shirtless. Which is to say it's possible. And it's not just possible, it's possible in this very seamless way. I just think what's missing is just a cultural nudge in that direction. A socio-cultural emphasis on getting sunlight. I don't want to get into how that's going to be difficult for women, blah, blah, blah. That's not my place right now. That's not what the sort of soup I want to get into right now. But yes, there's a broader thing. If we can't organize our lives such that we get 20 minutes of sun, which is so foundational to us, then how badly disconnected from life are we? Right? How bad has it gotten that we need to be reminded to go get sun? It's like the need to have water touch your skin, the need to have sunlight touch your skin, the need to be around fire. These are primal drives. We don't need to be told. We don't need to artificially make ourselves do these things. that we feel the need to artificially make ourselves do these things is emblematic of it's emblematic of how far we've fallen. It's emblematic of the disconnection that we're experiencing right now. The lack of coherence, the lack of a felt sense of the interconnectedness of all things. A lack of felt sense of being one with life, being one with, forget about life, at least the biological, ecological framework, the web of life that we're connected to, that we are just a part of, not as some philosophy, it's just basic biology, basic ecology. And I think something like this, something like the fact that we've, like some cultural belief, some cultural insistence on wearing a shirt, which may have had utility in a different time, but in a time of such abundance, wealth, and remote work, and all of this stuff, tech and everything, that we insist on maintaining this cultural practice, this artifact, this relic over choosing something that's so vital to our existence. And I don't even like the way I said that. Like, choosing, there's nothing to be chosen here. It's so beyond obvious that we all want to be healthy and we all want to thrive, and it's unquestionably the case. It's unequivocally the case that we need sunlight for that. We need sun exposure. There's no question of health without sun exposure, without exposure to soil, without exposure to trees. Speaking of which, how blessed, eh? Yes, you might say, oh, I'm in Bangalore, I can't walk around, I can't find trees so readily. Well, Bangalore's maybe the wrong example, because Bangalore has these amazing parks and stuff, Lalbagh and all of that, if that's what it's called, I don't remember. But sunlight, you don't need a park, you need a roof. You need to walk shirtless on the street. Or if you're a woman, you just need to wear the loosest, thinnest thing that you have and walk out and get some sun. You'll feel how good it is for you. This is not to proselytize. This is not coming from a place of, oh, look at me, I figured out how to live life. This is a question of, I'm not that guy. I've also struggled with these things. I'm also part of this disconnected society. And it's just that when I've prioritized that connection, that coherence, that sort of, that coherence between the way I understand how life should be lived and how I live, when I've just given a shit about that coherence, when I've sort of taken 2 steps actively towards making that happen, I see that it's very easy, that thing sort of very easily manifests in my life. I don't need to make it happen. I didn't intend for today to be a shirtless day. I didn't intend for today to be like standing desk day. I don't even have a standing desk. I just put my laptop on top of my little cupboard. We don't need more organization, more fancy solutions, more products. Sometimes we just need to mix and match a little differently, play with our circumstances and surroundings a little more creatively. That's all it takes. So, beautiful, beautiful, salubrious evening in Coimbatore. Me and Oroboy are signing off now. We're going to enjoy the rest of our walk in peace and quiet. I feel a lot of gratitude. I feel a lot of coherence. I feel a lot of joy. And this is not something I've always felt in life. It's a very hard-earned thing. And when this comes, there's this automatic desire that comes with it. This strong desire for everyone around to experience the same thing. Because it's the same life, but when you have this little bit of coherence in you, the way you experience those same circumstances changes dramatically. So, yeah.